small ones work. Don't buy your kid to your child. You know, I mean, it's
I love
just
the whole
more
Black Friday
fun.
thing. It's
People-
like with Amazon, my wife buys 365 days a year. Every day is Black Friday.
I finally got an Amazon credit card to get a discount.
I mean, some people feel like, you know, Cyber Monday and Black Friday is like free. It's not.
Yeah.
Anyway,
All right, so I'm going to wish everyone had a nice day.
Just because it's a sale, it's
Okay.
you're saving 30%. It means you're still buying something.
yeah, I know.
That's it. And Black Friday was yesterday, right? Because it's the Saturday show.
Right. Right.
Yeah, so we have to
Okay, thank you.
have to remember that.
Yeah.
You let me know when you're ready.
And I love the question. No question.
Okay.
So we'll just talk shop for
All right. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
1 second.
Tom, are you ready?
In 2 seconds,
let me
I'll turn
know.
this one on. So like, how's business? Or you can ask me business.
Yeah.
What's the first? Give us the times again.
It's going to be 7:10, 7:28, 8:40, 9:17, and 5:10.
So 7:10. Yeah.
And you got the little. Over there, when you're ready.
Yeah.
You all set?
Yep.
Okay. All right, guys, here we go. Ready? Go. Welcome. You're listening to The Best of Investing. I'm your host, Edward Brown, along with my co-host, Mark Hunt of Pacific Private Money and Patti Cohen of Pacific Union International. Our phone number is 888-912-1190. You're going to use that number to answer the trivia questions for a 5-pack tanning certificate. Which, by the way, Christmas is coming up. That'd be a great gift to give to somebody.
Great.
It's worth a lot.
And I know how you love to look tan. during
Oh,
the
yeah.
holidays.
Oh, that's it. I like to look tan. Yeah. And that certificate is not sponsored by the radio station, but by Tan Bella Tanning Salon with 2 locations in San Francisco and 1 in Marin. This week's theme is general trivia, but it's going to be easier this time, all right? We want everyone to win.
Last show again.
Yeah, no, you do. You did
Okay.
okay.
1 out of 3.
There you go. And by the way, hope everyone had a very nice Thanksgiving and did lots of shopping on
Good
Black
stuff.
Friday.
Oh boy.
It's free, almost free.
There's some ripoffs, but there's some good deals. I hope they bought the right stuff.
So I want to know about this. You know, for my wife, Black Friday is like 365 days a year with Amazon. I mean, do you really think Black Friday is indicative about the whole, you know, retail market and how healthy the retail market is anymore?
Not anymore. Personally, I don't think so now because of Amazon.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, my credit card had over 50 transactions just from Amazon. Now, some of that was, you know, $5 here and $10 here.
Right.
And
Streaming
now-
a movie.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's right. And a lot of times we get soaps and stuff.
Yeah, I do.
Now, so we don't have to.
Everything.
And now there's Sunday delivery because the U.S. Postal Service will come drop on your doorstep on a Sunday. So
Yeah.
7 days a week you can get deliveries.
And then tomorrow is Cyber Monday. I mean, it's basically our culture is consumerism. And every week there's a new sale. I mean, Memorial Day, Labor Day, 4th of July, Mother's Day, Father's Day, you know.
Well, and I'm a conservationist, not an environmentalist, but a conservationist. And it's hard for me because there's some stuff that when I need something, it's just so much easier just to buy it new,
Yeah.
right? And just throw out the old rather than, you know, okay, well, should I try to fix this one or, you know?
Well, if you look at taking into account inflation, if you look at consumer goods and how, like the cost of a toaster,
Yeah.
when you factor in
Compared to 30 years ago,
Oh, yeah.
relatively
Yeah.
speaking, it's almost free.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, I
Well,
mean it's almost
like
the
a
same
TV,
cost.
yeah.
I mean, you
Yeah.
know, toaster years and years ago, 50 years ago was probably $10. That was expensive.
Yeah.
A toaster today, you can get a toaster today for $10,
Yeah.
but it doesn't last. It's plastic, but
Well, that's true.
you know.
And the toast doesn't taste as good. My toast is 30 years old. That don't taste so good right now.
You know, the whole Cyber Monday and Black Friday, I think this year for the first time kind of blended together because Amazon was now having or had Black Friday sales, as did a lot of other online companies. So there's really not this differentiation anymore between Black Friday,
That's
which
true.
is you get up at, you know, the middle of the night and go stand in line at Walmart, versus, hey, there's all these great prices you can buy online as well. And then the Cyber Monday, I think that's just kind of adding icing to the cake if you're an online retailer, because you said, oh, but if you missed, you know, our Black Friday specials, here's our Cyber Monday
Oh, that's a
specials.
good point. I wonder how many people are gonna, you know, wait in the middle of the night.
Oh, and Thanksgiving, that's the big
Yeah.
controversy. It's not even at night anymore. It's like 9 o'clock Thanksgiving night.
I wonder if places like Walmart or other what they call brick and mortar places are going to have an extra special sale because of stuff like Amazon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay, so here's, we are a consumer society. So what's a good thing to buy right now and what's not? Because everybody's trying to say, hey, this is the time to buy this. But I'll tell you, this is my list of what's good to buy now and what's not.
Okay.
So buy your major appliances. I don't know what you guys did on Black Friday, but here it is, or Cyber Monday. Major appliances like refrigerator, oven, dishwasher, they are Black Friday, Cyber Monday specialty. Like right now, it is a good time.
Okay.
But watch it. There's apps where you can see what things were for the last 30 days and all that.
Okay.
Don't buy smaller appliances. There's no incentive to, a blender or a toaster,
Because they're always cheap.
Yeah, they're always cheap.
Yeah. But I guess the big retailers, big refrigerators and stuff like that, they're kind of hard to move. So
Yeah.
I mean, that's the reason.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
And then smart home devices, that's like the thing for this year. I mean, last year was Alexa and all that. But anything smart home is a good deal and a good gift.
I was watching Shark Tank last week, and they had a guy on there who did not get a deal, but Richard Branson from Virgin America had seen the show and contacted the guy. And what it had to do with was basically a special kind of lock where it also from your phone you can kind of see who's at the door and that sort of thing. His company is doing so well now; it's worth $1 billion.
Are you talking about Ring.com?
Awesome.
Ring, yes,
Ring.com.
that's what it is. Yeah,
That is
That's
a
what it
big
is.
deal. Big deal.
I couldn't believe that, and he didn't get a deal. That's amazing.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's been around a couple of years, and I've got one. One thing, by the way, sellers out there, if you're thinking about selling your home and buyers out there, be very careful because sellers are looking at .com. And I had a seller who sent me every single time somebody was at their front door, they sent me the video of the agent and the buyer talking and saying, like, who would plant a palm tree there? And this house seems overpriced. Oh, yeah, be careful. And that's just at the front door with Ring.com. But then Alexis and all that, there's devices in people's houses. So when you start talking about, you love it, let's make an offer, or how tacky is that, be careful.
Wow, I didn't think about that. That's a really good point. I could just imagine the agent telling the potential buyer, "Look, don't get so over anxious. You'll give your hand away."
Yeah.
Wow.
Or the listing agent saying this is overpriced.
Yeah.
Be careful, sellers watching. And someone said, "Well, is that legal?" I'm like, "Yeah, you're in that
Oh,
home."
sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or the seller, him or herself, saying, "Listen, I got to sell this thing in 30 days. Get whatever you can." Right?
Yeah, well, so far they're the only one watching.
That's true. They theoretically should know that. Okay, tell you what, we're going to cut to our first commercial break here. First trivia question. Again, we talk general questions, so we're trivia, so we're all over the map. This one happens to be television. Who played the role of Dr. Fraser Crane in the TV show Frasier? Who was the actor? That's the question. All right. The first caller with the correct answer is going to win that free 5-pack tanning certificate. Call 888-912-1190 to answer that question. Who played the role of Dr. Fraser Crane in the TV show Frasier? Oh, it's an easy one, isn't it?
Yeah,
of course.
I'm like, is that a trick question?
No. We wanted to give an easy one this time. All right.
Okay.
So that's our question. Don't touch that down. The Best of Investing is going to be right back.
That's a really easy one. All right.
All right. That's our first little segment. How'd it go so far? Pretty good?
So,
It's fine, easy.
So let's go to the second one. I'll ask, I'll give this quote and we'll bat it around a little bit and see where it goes.
Okay.
You can also, of course, dovetail in your activity.
Yeah.
I get a chance to ask you, how's it going?
Yeah.
Everybody's
And
tease me.
also,
Go on my legs because he. But sometimes I put a little sticker on there. Hi, Kramer.
Yeah, you probably heard me talk about it before. Because we've been show you for a while. And it was my partner, the guy that's supposed to be rehabbing it, promised me. I said, dude, don't do this to me, where you get the thing on like at Thanksgiving or it's Christmas.
Here we are.
He canceled the stager for the 4th time for tomorrow. And so, it's just, and now we're into Thanksgiving and rescheduled for next week. And they can't take the pictures again on the MLS, it's on stage.
Yeah.
Now it's going to be Christmas and then it's going to be January. So we're actually not going to sell a home in 2018 like I did.
What's the Christmas? Or where?
It's like $1 million-ish it's in Oakland. In a nice part of Oakland, near a private school, it should sell for $1 million, $1.2 million. But That's not the point. I mean, I'm so far into this thing that it's just crazy. So I get it. Yeah, it's. I am glad that at least we have weekend holidays, so we can kind of slide right through the holiday season. New Year's.
All right, so
Good.
I'll leave back into you after answering the
Yeah.
question. Okay. Ready? All right. Away we go. Well, welcome back to The Best of Investing. Again, I'm Edward Brown, your host, along with Mark Hunt and Patti Cohen. First trivia question. Oh, they said it was an easy one. Who played the role of Dr. Fraser Crane in the TV show Frasier?
Kelsey Grammer.
Kelsey Grammer. Very
Just
good.
remember that name. That's a hard name to remember.
That's true. Yeah, I don't know how many Kelseys I know, especially
Male.
Yeah.
When I was growing my beard, people told me I looked like Kelsey.
Yes, you did.
You kind of do.
Yes.
Look, I have more hair.
Just
A little bit.
And younger.
And younger. That's true. Mark, take it away.
So there was a interesting quote in the San Francisco Business Times this past weekend. And when I first read it, I thought that it was a quote from someone from like the California Association of Realtors or maybe even the National Association of Realtors. Listen to this quote. A renter who saves for another year to reach a larger down payment may find that the home they love today is outside their budget a year from now. And that's a quote from a name I can't pronounce, Svenja. She's Zillow's chief economist, advising prospective Bay Area first-time buyers to purchase a home now, assuming that they can. Real estate information company Zillow expects Bay Area home prices to rise in the next year. Going back to what I thought when I first read this, I thought, oh, it's one of those self-serving, realtor or someone who represents the Association of Realtors saying, buy now, buy now. It's always better to buy now, of course. But this is the chief economist for Zillow. Now, I know from the reading that I've done and the listening that I've done that most people don't expect it to turn from a seller's market to a buyer's market in 2018. In fact, most people expect 2018 to look a lot like 2017. But Patti, what do you think about that quote?
Well, I just happened to have attended a Pacific Union, John Burns, at the San Francisco Jazz Center.
Oh, right, John Burns.
Yeah, and it was his predictions along with our in-house economists, and he said the rate of appreciation will be slowing.
Slowing, yes.
Look to 2020 to where things really just kind of slow down a
I wonder
lot.
how they can predict that far in advance.
Well, they don't.
Exactly.
Here's the thing.
But his main point is that it still will be higher than it is today.
Yeah,
So that
still
means,
growing, yeah.
and it's been kind of dicey, like what's really happening. But everyone's saying, 2018, 2019, look for modest appreciation.
Yeah.
In 2020, all bets are off. I mean, that's
Yeah.
it. But here, 2 years ago, we were saying, 2018, look for that to be.
I know, they
recession
always
year.
say that.
And interest
So
rates
no one
going way
really
up.
goes
Yeah.
beyond, that I listen to and read, goes beyond 2 years. That seems to be kind of a safe bet,
Yeah.
projecting forward. Okay, what do we think is going to happen in the next 24 months? Well, we don't see any what they sometimes refer to as a black swan event that might trigger, say, changing from a seller's market to a buyer's market, or as prices might maybe even dip. But it's kind of safe to look ahead and go, well, maybe not in 18 and 19, but in 2020. So we keep pushing it forward. That's what's really
Well,
interesting.
the interesting thing about the economist, that quote, is it kind of makes sense if you're buying a house that's appreciating, 5 to 8% or more, because the kind of house that you're potentially buying, let's say $1 million house, going up
5%, that's $50,000. Can you save that much in a year?
Yeah,
You might be
exactly.
actually
20%
falling
of it.
behind.
Yeah, and then somebody who's, let's say
That's right, 20% of it, of course.
a Michael Jordan, athlete, he makes so much money, but he's not looking at $1 million house.
Right.
So he can save $50,000 in a heartbeat. Someone who's going to be buying $1 million house, how easy can they save that extra $50,000?
Yeah.
Good
Well,
point.
and also that quote has to do with the entire country, where I don't know what the average price is in this country anymore, because I work here. But like if it's $250,
Yeah, but then for someone who wants to buy a $250,000 house, if it goes up $12,500, how easy is it for that person to borrow an extra 12 or save that much extra money? It's not that easy.
So how's your fourth quarter shaping up?
Well, I mean, it's seasonal. It's really hard to tell. We're always going, oh dear, is it the market or is it just seasonal? And it seems like it's slowed down more than usual right now, but we
Well, the
still,
holidays seem to
it
always
is
see
the
that, doesn't it?
holidays and we still have kind of strange, why did X house get 3 offers and Y house is sitting there? No rhyme or reason sometimes, but
Well, it's the same thing now for Pacific Private Money. You
Yes.
do loans.
Yes.
How is it the same sort of thing you're finding?
Well, no, actually, our loan request volume has actually gone up quite a bit. We had our lull in the summertime. We had a couple of months there, August and September, that was actually slow for us, unexpectedly slow. And then now we're serving a number of clients that are in a rush to close by the end of the month, which would be end of November, and then it looks like going into December again. It's funny, the last several years, December has been one of our busiest months because you get a lot of people who want
Year-end.
create close a transaction by year end. And I'm not just talking commercial, which is
Yeah,
a lot
that's
of
kind of
commercial.
typical. Yeah.
It's fairly typical that you want to get it, book it in the year, but even primary residences. It's amazing how many people will be closing in December, and the calendar is being kind to us in the real estate business this year because we've got both holidays, Christmas and New Year's, are falling on a Monday, so we have 2 long weekends back to back. And many people will take a 4-day weekend, maybe Friday off, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. But you can really, if you're in the real estate industry or us in the lending industry, we can really push through the holiday period and close transactions without like a midweek break, which really kind of messes things up when you're trying to record a real estate
Yeah,
transaction.
I wonder, I have to go back to my rules on this, but people who want to close a primary residence, if they're paying you points up front for a short-term loan to purchase,
Right, they can
write that off
Yeah,
in
it's deductible in the year.
in the year that they pay it. Maybe that's one of the reasons why they want to do it in
possibly.
that year. Tell you what, we're going to cut to our second commercial break. When we come back, we've got a couple of interesting emails regarding the fires in the Northern California, mostly Santa Rosa. An email actually for each of you regarding that. So one in the lending part and one in the actual real estate part. Second trivia question. What were the New England Patriots named prior to the 1971 season? Does that make sense, that question? Okay. They're now called the New England Patriots. What were they called prior to 1971? That's our trivia question. Call 888-912-1190. Again, if you're the first caller with the correct answer, you're going to win that 5-pack tanning certificate, which has got to be worth over $100. Pretty good. They got all kinds of great services there. Again, last time I'm going to ask this question. What were the New England Patriots named prior to the 1971 season? Right? Don't touch that dial. The best of investing. We're going to be right back.
No, I also wanted to offer, I have anybody listening out there that I've got a video of that whole transcript from the San Francisco Jazz Center where it drills down into like the video and then a link that drills down what's happening in the market. So
Okay.
Yeah.
When we get to, we'll do your email question and say how to get a hold of you.
Okay.
So use that.
Okay.
Boy, it's kind of fun. We haven't had a videographer in a while.
Indeed.
We've used that at my house for hiring people. I think I used it once. All right. Ready?
Yes.
Okay. Away we go. Welcome back to the Best of Investing one more time. I'm Edward Brown, your host, along with Mark Hunt of Pacific Private Money and Patti Cohen of Pacific Union International. Second trivia question. This is a sports question. What were the New England Patriots named prior to the 1971 season?
I actually am not certain of this answer, so I'm just going to guess. Boston Patriots?
That's what they're called,
wow.
Boston Patriots. That's correct. Remember when Jim Plunkett came out of Stanford? He started with the Boston Patriots. Very good. You're 2 for 2.
Nice.
All right. Email time. So, Mark, question comes up. Do you see any opportunities from the Northern California fires?
Well, there is going to be a silver lining for many businesses. And I hate saying that because this was a horrific event that is, I mean, just so many people are still suffering and will suffer for time to come. You know, if not at least the next year, some of them several years. But the fact of the matter is that there are industries that serve the construction industry, and there are companies like Pacific Private Money that help finance rebuilding, construction, rehab, etc. And so, of course, we're paying very close attention to this. In fact, we are looking to raise additional capital at Pacific Private Money for the very purpose of making ground-up construction loans in Sonoma County. So we are very much prepared for what we expect to see as demand for alternative sources of financing to help rebuild. Now, I've got an article with me that I'll share a little bit later that comes from the Sonoma Business Times that talks about how banks and other government agencies are getting together to work on what they hope will be a quick rebuild. But I happen to know from experience, and particularly my experience during the foreclosure crisis, when the banks talked a big game about helping people in foreclosure, and then we're really at the end of the day nowhere to be found. And I don't expect to be quite that drastic this time around. But the fact of the matter is that there are going to be people who will not be able to get bank financing when it comes time to rebuild. Companies like Pacific Private Money will be there to help.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm trying to think of like an example. Either they were underinsured, or they decide, hey, I've got a big check from the insurance company, but I want to build a bigger house.
Well, they're still going to have to bank qualify. I mean, you know, even if your insurance, let's say the insurance proceeds pays off the existing mortgage that's on your burned out home, and now it pays off the bank. So you probably don't get any insurance proceeds net of the payoff of your bank loan, but you own the lot now free and clear. Yeah. Now you have the opportunity to go out and look for financing or financing assistance or both. And if you're self-employed or you've got unreliable sources of income, or you're newly employed elsewhere, the banks are still going to look at your ability to repay. Yeah. That's by law. That's a Dodd-Frank statute. Ability to repay is on the books. So not everyone will be able to get a construction loan from the local community banks.
And if the person whose house burned down decides they're going to leave California, they'll sell the lot to somebody else,
to a contractor or a real estate investor who will look to build a spec home on that. There's going to be a lot of that activity. Quite frankly, people that I know who are close to people in this situation already know many who decided not to rebuild and who will be selling. And so there'll be buyers that we will be looking to find, mainly general contractors, because those are the most creditworthy in terms of their ability to finish a home that they start.
Yeah.
Maybe not so much those who are going to be taking advantage of an investment opportunity. There will be a few speculators coming in, and that's going to be the downside of this whole thing. The speculators who run in there, tie up properties, make promises to the homeowners who are selling, but are not really in a position or have the experience to do ground up construction.
Yeah, I would think that there'd be some people who aren't going to build just because of the sheer horror that it's like buying a haunted house in a way. You know,
exactly.
they just don't want to deal with it.
Well, you know what? A lot of people, unfortunately, even if they want to stay, their checks are not going to be big enough. Because say you're sitting in a 50-year-old house, and it depends. Do you have replacement costs based on? You have to, when you build, you have to do it based on today's codes and all that.
Yeah, older insurance policies don't necessarily have code upgrade coverage, replacement costs.
Right.
Home construction costs have gone way up, materials are way up, cement's up, wood is up. So it's really, I mean, that's one of the reasons why you don't see a lot of home building going on today. It's one of the reasons why some of the subdivisions that failed 10 years ago are still not being built to this day. They don't pencil out.
Well, also, in lieu permit fee, park fees, all these permit things.
Well, those are promising to streamline.
I would hope
so. Again, I'll share. We'll be there to help for more information. If you're someone who would like to know what your options are when it comes to construction loan financing, we can be reached at 415-883-2150 or go to our website, pacificprivatemoney.com.
All right. And Patty, we have an email here that says, I've heard about price gouging regarding renters during the Santa Rosa fires and how it's not allowed against the law. But are there any such laws regarding selling your house?
Well, let me tell you, I've heard about price gouging too, and I can tell you that the realtor community is on top of it. We don't want to see people suffer, and we've seen it in Sonoma County, we saw it in Novato. A lot of people are going to Novato, and we saw properties right out of the gate, like within 2 or 3 days, properties that were on the market for rent, and say they were at $4,000 a month. Next day, they're at $7,000 a month. And we just identified them and said, you know, that's
you're allowed
illegal.
to go up 10%.
You can go up
right?
10%. And
yeah.
usually that would be within 60 days, but because it's been declared a state by the state, and then it's not just around here, it's in the entire state in some cases,
Yeah.
where it's a state of emergency, so it goes through April. And
Oh, wow,
but it doesn't
6 months.
apply, you can't kick out a tenant and then raise your rent, but if you're, it only applies to, if you just come on the market tomorrow,
Yeah.
you can ask whatever you want. But if you were trying
Right.
before that date,
Yeah, and advertise
you can't do
before.
it.
Now, selling your house though, you can ask whatever you want.
Supply and
Someone-
demand.
You can't fool the market when it comes to selling your house, so you can hold out hope. Now, that doesn't stop people from going, well, I'm just gonna go ahead and add, $200,000 to the price of my house and see what happens.
Nasty.
Which
Yeah.
is, take the advice of your realtor when it comes to pricing. I've seen a lot of homeowners make the mistake that they think they can fool the market. I dealt with flipper clients who borrowed from me who couldn't sell their home, and they made the mistake of overpricing it. It's in the Bay Area, what seems to work best, in my experience, for my clients who are borrowing money to remodel and flip houses, is priced under market.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's all supply and demand. It
Yeah.
just depends on the neighborhood and the price, and
You'll get what it's
what's
worth.
when.
You'll generate
it's gonna be interesting
excitement.
to see how it all shakes out. But I mean, I've heard so many, like Nevada's really hot right now. A lot of people are getting out of Sonoma County to go to Nevada, but it hasn't come south that much that we've seen. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens in 2018, 19, 20 in terms of the Bay Area,
Yeah.
Sonoma, Napa, Marin County.
How do people get a hold of you if you have questions about buying or selling?
Oh, yeah, and by the way, I wanted to offer listeners, I've got I mentioned that San Francisco Jazz Center economic forecast. I'm happy to send that to whoever, as well as a full report drilling down county by county. So it's Patti Cohn, 415-722-4842. And my email is Patti, PATTI.Cohn, COHN, at PACunion.com.
Great. All right. Last trivia question here. Which month's name is derived from the Latin word for 8? They only have 12 chances, right? Because there's only 12 months in a year. Which month's name is derived from the Latin word for 8? 888-912-1190. Don't touch that dial. The best of investing. We'll be right back. That's why we leave extra time just in case we're over.
This time I won't forget to 917. The long one coming up.
Okay.
Although they're all pretty close to not long by much. So we'll get a little bit more.
Deal of the week too. Oh yeah, you get your article. Your article.
Do you have a deal of the week for us? Because I don't. It's been completely off my radar for a while. Unless I sat here and pottered it, which I don't have one off the cuff.
Well, I've got one here that hasn't been quite identified, but it could be a deal of the week. We could be like Hee Haw and call it deal of the week.
Yeah, I'm thinking. Yeah, I have one.
You do have one. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll go on your article first.
Yeah.
You ready? Welcome back to the Best of Investing. Edward Brown here, along with Mark Hunt and Patti Cohn. Third trivia question was, which month's name is derived from the Latin word for 8?
I'm going to go on a limb here and say August.
That's what I was thinking, because the 8th month. But October,
Yeah.
or like octagon.
Yeah.
Yes,
All
yes,
right.
yes. Okay. All right, Mark, you got 2 out of 3. That's okay.
Not bad.
Not too bad.
All right.
You have an article you want to share with us?
Well, so a local publication, the North Bay Business Journal, this past weekend, wrote an article, and I know many of the Bay Area listeners and readers probably don't have the benefit of seeing some of these local articles that are written about the fires and what is being done in real time right now to help and assist those who want to rebuild. And there's an article titled Rebuilding Quickly by Avoiding Log Jams. And it goes to say Coffee Park one of the most publicized communities that suffered major losses in the recent wildfires, is moving closer toward a viable plan to rebuild. Though there may be confusion among residents who lost homes during the recent fires about how to rebuild, architects and builders are confident that Coffee Park can be rebuilt in record time, providing residents take an active part in the process. So this is not a guarantee that it's going to happen, but what this article goes into great detail is that there's already been a formal group put together, Redwood Empire Firestorm Recovery Committee, headed by architects, attorneys, and other officials, as well as leaders in the market. They're basically saying we're in a race to keep people from a breaking point and leaving. So what they hope to do is actually have a record recovery effort. They want to beat all former disasters in terms of recovery and rebuilding. Now there's a lot to this, and it takes a team effort between builders, architects, and the government
Yeah, I was gonna say,
to be able to get
commission.
together. And the gist of the article is they hope to identify a team of builders who will help do a mass rebuild, and companies and financial institutions that will help with the financing. They want to work with insurance companies. So it's going to be really interesting, and it's extremely complicated. If they pull this off, it'll be amazing. And of course, we hope they can. Now, this is just Coffee Park, which is a neighborhood that lost 2,000 homes. Now, there were 5,000 homes that were lost in Sonoma County, including a lot of custom homes in the Fountain Grove area and other areas and outlying areas of Santa Rosa. And those are some of the rebuilding projects that we think at Pacific Private Money will be coming to us for inquiries about construction loan financing. And in fact, one of our contractor clients, who's a repeat borrower from Pacific Private Money, already approached us to say that he built many of the homes in the Fountain Grove area that burned down, and he's in contact with many of those homeowners and has already been calling me to make sure that we're on board to begin underwriting construction loan applications. Now, there's still a lot to happen, and as my contractor or our contractor client had told me, the heat was so high in some of these neighborhoods that you're talking about infrastructure damage to everything from septic to sewer to streets and curbs and gutters that may have to be replaced. And you can't just clear the lot and rebuild. You have to remove the old foundation because the heat cracked the concrete, and so the concrete is now no longer suitable for rebuilding the same house on top of that foundation. So there's an awful lot that goes. There's no quick fix on this, but I'm really happy to see that here's one organization that has been formed to tackle this problem and this project head on. So more to come.
Okay, very good. Also, let people know, what does Pacific Private Money do? I mean, we know that you provide loans because you were explaining that, but from an investment standpoint, give us a deal of the week. Explain what your company does.
Well, I'm going to answer the question this way. Pacific Private Money is a Bay Area-based alternative real estate finance provider. We're alternative to the banks. We're the lender that you approach when the bank says no, or if you don't have enough time to consummate a real estate transaction using bank or conventional financing. We rescue a lot of deals that fall out of conventional financing, and we also help people who maybe they can't get bank financing today, but within a relatively short period of time, say 1 year, they will be bank financeable. So we'll help them buy today, capture the property, and then they can pay us back. Since all of our loans have no prepayment penalty, they can pay us back whenever they are able to get bank financing. We get a lot of our loan requests through realtors and mortgage brokers who are working with clients. So if you're a real estate professional out there and you've got a client in a situation that bank financing is not an option for any number of reasons, give us a call. We can pretty much tell you over the phone within minutes if it's something we think we can help with. Now, where do we get the money to make the loans that we write? Well, we get our money from private capital, hence the name of our company is Pacific Private Money. And that private capital is from Mostly Bay Area residents, although we have investors from out of state as well, but the vast majority of our capital comes from Bay Area residents. We will have funded $100 million in loans in 2017. That's what we're on pace to close the year at. And that's all private capital from both our mortgage pool fund, of which we have over 100 investors in that fund, as well as individual note investors, those people who are experienced in investing in trust deeds and like the product that they see from Pacific Private Money. So those are two ways you can invest in what we, Edward and I, refer to often as mortgage investing, either a mortgage pool fund or an individual note. You can expect to earn, on average, around 8% this year on your money. The rates have trended down over the last couple of years. A couple of years back, you could still, oftentimes get 9 to 10%. Now, 7 to 8% seems to be more the norm for a quality, well-secured, strong borrower, note secured by a recorded deed of trust. So for more information, do give us a call, Pacific Private Money. Go to our website, pacificprivatemoney.com, or call 415-883-2150. Now, quick deal of the week.
Yeah, sure.
So we are doing a loan. Now, this is actually in Southern California. I'm going to give you just in broad strokes. The parents want to help their son and his wife and their young family buy their first home. And they are going to provide them the down payment by way of offering up the equity in their free and clear home. So we are making approximately a little over $1 million to purchase the home. That's the price of the home, $1 million. We're making them a $1 million loan. They have a little bit of money to come in with closing costs, although there's so much equity in this deal, we could have made them literally a 100% financed home, including closing costs. We're cross-collateralizing the parents' home, which is worth $600,000. So we've got a well-secured loan of $1 million secured by $1.6 million in collateral. Once the buyers of the home, the son and his family, are in there for 6 months or longer, their mortgage broker assures us that they will qualify for a conventional finance loan to take out our loan.
That does sound like a pretty good quality loan.
Yeah, so and we've done versions of that type of financing before, where maybe a family is living in a home that has tons of equity, but they can't easily tap that equity to buy the next home, which oftentimes forces someone to sell their home, move to temporary quarters, and then take that money and use that for a down payment on their next home, which in this market, in the Bay Area, is just like, it's crazy. You really can't do that. But moving twice is insane. And, thanks to the tight rental market, good luck finding a place to move temporarily. So we can help them by providing up to 100% target purchase price financing if they've got plenty of equity in their home that we can cross back on it. Just so you know, banks don't do cross-collateralized loans. So that's something that's unique to the alternative finance industry like Pacific Private Money. So for more information, go to pacificprivatemoney.com.
All right, don't touch that dial. We're going to be right back with some closing comments. Patty,
Sorry, Patty, I didn't mean to. I forgot to put my finger on it for the second time, so I didn't know where I was until you flipped your finger over.
Yeah.
But it's still, because time really flies when I'm talking.
You could go segments.
Yeah, I know, you're going.
How much time to keep the segments down to?
Shut up, so you get.
Well, it's 7:10, 7:28, 8:40, 9:17. This last one will only be 5.
So you brought up stuff here, right? You got some stuff to share?
I always do, yeah.
Okay,
So,
yeah,
okay.
let's.
Yeah, I'm sorry for monopolizing that fourth period there. I kept thinking you might jump in, so it's always good to. It's okay radio to jump in and answer back and forth. With Edward and Nala and I get together, we do the same thing, back and forth there.
All right, this is our last one. You ready,
So how
Mark?
many minutes do we have?
5 minutes.
5:17.
5:10.
5:10.
5:10.
Okay.
Will that be enough for you to? You want to take it away?
Let's figure out what we want to talk about.
Okay.
Kind of back and forth, the market, the planners. I got something on the tax implications, but I don't know enough about it to really
Oh.
how that's going to shake out. but I wanted to offer people an analysis of it.
Well, the tax implications have something to do with, they've changed the maximum amount, the loan amount of 500,000, but is it only the interest
No,
on
I
a
mean,
mortgage up to 500,000 that you're?
well, it's so complicated. I mean, there's the capital gains rates changing. Now you can only go up to 500,000 to, and it hasn't even happened yet.
Yeah.
So, you know what I
We don't
mean?
know what's
Like,
gonna pass, right?
Yeah.
but I think that it's worthwhile getting people rallying because it mostly affects California where $1 million loan is not a lot. In other parts of the country, a $500,000 loan is a lot.
Yeah.
So we're an afterthought when it comes to political.
Trump
We have
hates
no,
us.
we have very little
We voted
political,
for it,
yeah,
yeah.
we have very little political clout
Yeah.
because we vote at the very end and it just doesn't matter. Nobody cares because we're all, it's supposedly all Democrats.
Well, but,
So
yeah,
people need to get really stand up because California is going to be really,
well, especially the state tax deduction. Right.
Yeah.
Too.
yeah.
Okay, well, let's just
All right, let's talk about that a little bit.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Well, welcome back to the Best of Investing. Last time for today, I'm Edward Brown, your host, along with Mark Hunt and Patti Cohen. Can't tell the players without a scorecard. Okay, so Patti, I wanted to talk a little bit about taxes.
Little politics to the end of the day.
Politics and taxes.
Right. I mean, there's things that are, we don't know where this tax plan is going to end up, but it has dire implications for Californians.
You mean, wait a minute, you mean Trump he don't like us?
Doesn't
He doesn't
like
like
us.
California. No, he doesn't.
Filled with fruits and nuts, and it really doesn't matter at the end of the day because we don't have any clout because we vote at the end, because we're later. Everybody knows this, right?
June primaries,
So,
right?
it's kind of like, doesn't matter what we think, but right currently, the maximum you can donate, deduct, for a donation,
Yeah.
the maximum you can deduct for your primary residence is $1 million. Now, the proposal is for that to be $500,000. Now, for the rest of the country, it really doesn't have a lot of impact, so they're not hearing a lot of squawking.
Yeah.
But in California, it's very, very common to have
Sure.
$1 million loan.
Well, plus, aren't they thinking about getting rid of the state tax deduction?
Exactly.
Right, state taxes in California are huge.
Oh,
That's an
with
important
Connecticut.
deduction. In fact, for our investors in the Pacific Private Money Fund, if they're out of state, let's say maybe they reside in Florida, they don't pay any state taxes. They have to file taxes on that California income, and if this bill passes, they won't be able to get a credit for that on their IRS, their federal return, which is actually going to make investing in our fund not as sexy for out-of-state investors, which is really a bummer. So it's not going to help those in California who are raising capital doing private syndication. So there's just a lot of
They do
fun.
get a credit though against their. Oh wait, if they're in Florida, then there is no.
Yeah,
but if they're in
there's no-
Connecticut,
Right,
they can
yeah,
get a
yeah.
deduction on that. But still, it's better to get a federal one.
Yeah, there's dire implications just because our price ranges are higher. So I really wanted to encourage people to contact your representatives and make it known that this is not good.
Yeah, I wonder how much that'll affect the actual real estate market.
Well,
I mean, it will because people,
Will.
Won't be buying as high a price. I mean, that's one of the problems I see that with certain states that have super high real estate tax percentage, 2% or more.
Yeah.
Is it really keeps the prices way down.
Yeah.
Because it's just too expensive to own a home.
Yeah.
Well, there's so many variables that go into California home pricing, and certainly if they start removing some of the tax benefits, like deductibility of property taxes, deductibility of home interest,
Right.
deductibility of junior liens, deductibility of second homes, all of these things seem to be up for grabs whenever Congress gets together to talk about tax reform. But it's just interesting that coming from a Republican administration, for those of us in California, who may not have voted Democrat and are fiscally conservative, now all of a sudden seeing that this is going to impact our pocketbooks in a very negative way, and maybe even our real estate prices, it is concerning. The good news is that it hasn't happened yet. It's been put forth by the House. The Senate's going to have their own version. Then it's going to have to go through the remainder of the process. It'll be really interesting.
And
So-
why does the government need more money?
yeah,
Tell
exactly.
me why.
Exactly. And really seriously, it hasn't happened yet. So for listeners out there, contact your representatives.
Well, this is going to put less money, in theory, in the coffers, as many automatically presume that these are tax cuts that are going to come dollar for dollar out of future revenue streams. But it's discounting the idea that trickle down work in some cases. So again, that's another topic.
Okay. Before we cut out, give out your information again for people in the audience who want to get a hold of you. Patty, how do people get a hold of you?
So I'm Patti Cohn at Pacific Union International in Marin County, 415-722-4842, and Patti.Cohn, C-O-H-N, at PacUnion.com.
And Mark, if people want to talk about loans.
Yep, I'm Mark Hanf. I'm president and founder of Pacific Private Money. I've got a team of people waiting to talk to you about loans or investments. Go to our website at pacificprivatemoney.com or call us 415-883-2150.
All right, here's our thoughts for the day. It always seems impossible until it's done. And you were born with the ability to change someone's life. Don't ever waste it. I like that.
Very nice.
Tune in next week to The Best of Investing. We're going to be giving away more free prizes for answering trivia questions. Thanks for listening. On behalf of our team, I'm Edward Brown. We're wishing you the best of investing. So long. Oh, is that so
That's
fast?
a wrap.
Goes fast, huh?
Yeah, it does. Hope we didn't bore you.
No, it's very interesting. I was a mortgage broker